Welcome back to Beyond Basic Phonics, English Morphology 101 with Donald Potter. And we're doing, this is like a test. And the idea is for you to make sure that you can read these words and understand what they mean. And these are all words of Greek origin with combining forms. Sometimes there will be Latin and Anglo-Saxon elements also, but every one of these words will have at least one or more Greek combining forms. So let's launch right into this. Chronometer. Chrono means time and meter means to measure. Another word for basically for a clock. Then we have our measuring time. Perimeter. Around, measure. So what is the distance around this circle or this square or this triangle? That is the perimeter. Microscope. Little and to see. See little things. Number 2, physician, interested in the physical aspects of the human body. Zoology, the study of animals that you would put in a zoo. Periscope, the submarine underneath the water is going to send a periscope up to look around. Physiology, notice these are connected. A physician is interested in physiology, a knowledge of the physical aspects of the body. Then we have biography. That's where somebody writes about your life. Telescope, long way, look, tele is distance and scope. Telescope, you can see a long ways. Notice here, all of these, microscope, periscope, telescope, they all have scope in them. Very productive Greek combining form. Then we have physiologist is someone who studies physiology, and a physician, you can see how these words all relate to each other with the Greek combining form phys. Then we have bibliography. Graphy means to write, and a bibliography is a list of books in the back of a book that are referred to in the book, and you'll see it in scholarly works. Archaeology is the study, archae, let me get that E in there, of old things. Boy, that would be a great career, traveling around the world, digging up old, learning about how people lived. Next, we have telegraph, writing for a long ways. And again, maybe remember, da, dit, da, did it, dit, da, dit, da, dit, da, excuse me, yeah, da, then, da, dit, and did. Telegraphy, there you go. Autobiography, and here we have biography, and now we have autobiography. Biography is when somebody writes your life, and autobiography is when you write your own life. Next we have archaeologist, and so these two words go together. Archaeology is a study of old things, and an archaeologist is someone who studies old things. Number 6, we have metropolis, and that is like a busy city. Hyperactive. I think that's a relative term. Some students are said to be hyperactive. Maybe they're just more active than their teacher or some of their peers. I try to accommodate hyperactive students in my class by making sure they don't have to sit around in their chair all day, but they're actually able to do different activities anyway, by the way, a good thing for a hyperactive kid is a trampoline so they can jump. I don't think I'm hyperactive, but I jump on a trampoline almost every day, part of my exercise regime. Next we have phonograph. That is to write sounds. Phono is sounds. I bet you're getting all these. This is pretty much fun, isn't it? Easy once you know it. Number 7, hemisphere. You take a sphere, that's a ball, and you cut it in half. You have a hemisphere. Hydrogen. Wow, hydro is water, and hydrogen is one of the elements. Hydrogen and oxygen makes water. Autograph. Well, now we got it. Auto, self, and graph. So that's when you write your name. You write your autograph on a check, maybe you're a ball player on a ball, whatever. Next thing is decameter, and that is 10 meters. Monorail. A monorail is a train runs on one track, one rail. And then triangle would be what? 3 angles. All right. And now I'm going to pause and bring up the next words that we're going to look at here. Now we're going to look at the rest of these words at the bottom of that were at the bottom of the page. I couldn't get it all on the screen, so we're putting this into 2 sections here. Pedometer. All right. Ped is foot and meter, so it measures how far you walk. Television. When they tried to come up with a word for how they were going to put broadcast pictures, they called it tele, distance, and vision, to see. So you see at a distance, television. Next we have automatic. That's something that moves on its own. It's automatic. Number 10, biosphere. That is the area where that life exists, the biosphere. Telegram. Gram to write, tele a distance. So when you send a telegram. Automobile. Oh my goodness. Auto. Self, mobile, able to move. So an automobile is something that moves on its own. Number 11. Psychology. Psychology is the study of the psyche, right? The mind. Telemetry. On a rocket going into orbit, you're going to be sending back signals to the ground crew as to how all the systems are performing. And that is sending measurements at a distance. It's done through radio signals. Next we have semicircle, which is just half a circle. Number 12, psychologist. Notice these two go together. A psychologist is someone who studies psychology. Monologue is someone who's talking to themselves. Microcosm, well, that's really interesting. Micro means little, and cosm's like the whole universe, the whole world. So it's used like a model of something, microcosm. Number 13, hydroplane. That's actually a boat, okay? It goes so fast and the bottom's constructed to where it just rides on top of the water. And one of the first hydroplanes was actually built by a gentleman in the town where I grew up of Rising Sun, Indiana, believe it or not. Yes, he was an inventor. And the record that he set on the Ohio River still stands. His name was Whitlock. Still stands to this day because they built dams, and so they can't have those races anymore. Next we have dialogue. Now notice we've got these together. A monologue, you talk to yourself. A dialogue, you're talking to somebody else. Symphonic. Sim means together, and phonics is sound. So symphonic or a symphony, where that you have beautiful sounds with all the instruments playing together in tune and in harmony. Now, next we have monocycle. That's just one cycle. Photographics, to write with light. So take a picture. Orthodontist. This is a dentist who will straighten your teeth, maybe with braces, to make you have a prettier smile. Next we have polygon, which is a figure that has many sides. Generally that's more than 5, but then we have syllable, periodontist. Oh, these two are very similar. Number 16, we have octagon, and again, an octagon is a spatial kind of polygon. Polysyllable means many syllables, and so you can see here where I put these two words. You add poly, many, to syllable, and you come up with many syllables. And last of all, a interesting subject to me anyway is philosophy. And although I did not complete my studies, I did start at Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana, studying philosophy, and Dr. Vollroth was a fantastic teacher and introduced us to philosophy, not reading about it, by reading the philosophers themselves. So I got to read Plato, Descartes, and many of the philosophers. You will find what they wrote way more interesting than what people write about them. And Will Durant wrote a book called The Story of Philosophy. It's probably the most attractive introduction. So if you're interested, give that a read. Again, it's Donald Potter. This finishes the Greek combining form section. So now we're going to go back to the Anglo-Saxon, and we're going to have some lessons to finish off our Beyond Basic Phonics English Morphology 101 that is going to explain words that sound the same in English but have a different meaning. These are really important for you to learn. So I've added that at the end of this for this next section. So again, we'll see you there.